So what does that look like? Here we go. Are you ready? Is the heart really a pump? You decide. The most powerful ventricle of the heart can shoot water 6 feet into the air. That sounds like a pump. Our vessels and arteries have a combined length of 60,000 miles. That is twice the circumference of the earth. And that is equivalent to lifting a 100-pound weight 1 mile high. The heart is not equipped to perform as a pump, circulating all of our blood through our entire circulatory system. It is simply incapable. Blood moves of its own accord. The blood in a chicken embryo can be seen circulating before the heart has even developed sufficiently. And blood does not flow like water in a hose. Blood flow is composed of 2 streams of blood spiraling around one another in the same direction of flow. The 2 streams move at separate rates, causing varying degrees of friction and therefore temperature in the body. At the center of these spiraling streams is nothing. There's a vacuum. Liquids move faster and more easily when they travel in a spiral motion. These spiraling streams shape the vessels they flow within, and in turn, the vessels encourage the spiral motion by the shape of their vascular walls. Different elements in the composition of blood are separated by density via the centrifugal force, sending plasma out along the vessel wall. The platelets are sent towards the outer edge of the spiral, and the red blood cells are hovering near the center of the bloodstream. None of this is demonstrated in this animated video, nor this one. The information is not perceivable in either of these graphics, just saying. And that's kind of why I picked them. Nor is it apparent here. But let's talk about the red blood cells specifically and how they spin on their own axes, giving off radio frequencies detectable by Doppler radar. They spin very fast on their own axes and bulge at their equator due in part to this movement. It doesn't appear as if this is a widely known about or distributed bit of information because these lazy blood cells look lifeless and devoid of the energy that they receive and generate. The human heart does phase lock with the rest of the circulatory system, pulsing and creating pressure along with the movement already occurring in the bloodstream. The vessels are expanding and contracting in response to momentary variations in the system, which the heart receives as pressure waves and alters its immediate response with the following heartbeat. Oops. Which is a call returned once again by the vessels. And each organ also joins this elegant dialogue. The heart reads the pressure waves like sonar, returning from every area of the system, every organ, every vessel and artery, every vascular wall. This is a conversation, a dialogue. The heart shifts its rhythm from second to second. And thanks to the HeartMath Institute and their elaborate website and all the resources therein, I'm able to source information like this to share with you, pulled directly from their website. The brain in the heart. So now I would like to present how, in addition to the heart not being a pump necessarily, the brain is a heart, or the heart is a brain in its own right. The brain and the heart, its elaborate circuitry enables it to act independently of the cranial brain, to learn, remember, and even feel and sense. The heart's nervous system contains around 40,000 neurons called sensory neurites, and they perform and have the same function as the neurons in your brain do. They store memories, etc. And the brain sends more signals, according to very certain studies, more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. And the heart is an electromagnetic oscillator. Pacemaker cells appear very early in an embryo and begin to spontaneously beat on their own and entrain or resonate with one another the way two tuning forks do, because they do not need to touch to become synchronized. Pacemaker cells are groupings of cells that automatically and spontaneously self-organize, and there are millions of them. The contractions of the heart muscles generate electrical pulses in the tissues of the body. Each beat of the heart produces 2.5 watts of electrical energy and continues to do this continuously through life. The information I've shared with you today, I first learned in the book, The Secret Teachings of Plants, in the Direct Perception of Nature, The Intelligence of the Heart in the Direct Perception of Nature is the subtitle, by Stephen Herod Buhner. I never was sure if he said Stephen or Stephen. Stephen Herod Buhner. I own several of his books and several copies of those various books. I scribble all over them. I reread them. I just love the way that he describes the body and its various functions, and he understands so much, and he's able to explain it to me through this book in a way that has settled so deeply in my capacity to just fully understand now, better understand what the whole system is doing and what the heart in its function actually is. And so I'd like to read to you directly from the book. When the heart valve opens to allow blood to enter the atria, the blood swirls in under tremendous pressure, creating an even stronger vortex than that already present in the blood cells. The insertion of even a single ion into this vortex creates a powerful magnetic field, and the blood contains many more than a single ion. The heart's electric and magnetic fields are created not only by the vortex of the blood in the heart, but also by the vortex of the blood in the vessels and the spinning motion of the blood cells themselves as they travel through the vessels. Just as the blood carries chemicals and cells, it also carries electromagnetic signals. These, like other blood components, travel to all parts of the body, reaching every cell. And moving down the page, on page 86, measured with magnetic field meters, the electromagnetic field that the heart produces is some 5,000 times more powerful than that created by the brain. While strongest at the body's surface, it extends out further than human measuring devices can detect. There's so much more in there. I would just sit here and do a reading session to read the whole book if it made sense to do that. But what I would like to do is implore everyone on earth to read this book. So these graphics here I sourced from the HeartMath Institute, as we're looking at the electromagnetic fields around the bodies of the humans. These are toroidal shaped fields, which are around every tree, plant, apple, planet, sun, galaxy. This is a repeating pattern. And this is why I find the modern day flat earth theory preposterous. So how does this research and these potential findings affect you, and what does it say about our society and the world? That question is for you to ponder, but I'd like to offer you my thoughts. Our hearts should probably not be treated as pumps if they are not pumps, but as sensitive, sensing electromagnetic devices and not rigid mechanical clockwork. Our hearts are the seat of intuition and intelligence. We are capable of sensing the fields we are immersed in. Stephen Bunner is very convincing in how he goes into detail about this. Now, we just barely touched the surface today, but there is a rich and beautiful information about life in just this book right here. We are capable of sensing the fields we are immersed in. This extends to the people around us, but perhaps more noteworthy, the babies that mothers carry in their womb. There's a wealth of information exchanged between mother and baby in vitro and postnatal, and possibly for a lifetime. Human hearts, as well as other biological self-organized systems, are electromagnetic oscillators, which also make them radio transmitters and receivers, which also means they're sensitive to disturbance in ambient radiation, as are all biological forms. So what does our ambient radiation look like in our modern developed neighborhoods? I consider how healthy it is for us to be immersed in all of these technocratic electromagnetic fields. So what does this say about the current society we participate in? Again, I'm offering you my thoughts. The public at large is unaware of their own physical and energetic traits. And those who structure current public curriculum do not include these rich elemental facts. The Western model of medicine does not incorporate these truths, to our detriment. And what does this say about our world? We exist in a magnificent, multidimensional space that has endless facets to explore for the benefit of excited contemplation. Like, how can we get bored? This means we can connect with others in a meaningful way. It also means that we potentially suffer when we are not connecting on these deeper levels.